Hello, everybody. Welcome to Q&Angels. I am Stephanie Lodge. How are you today? Welcome to February 14th, 2021, special Valentine's edition or Galentine's edition of Q&Angels. Oh, so much going on. I'm just so excited to be here. And I'm Stephanie Lodge. I am an Angelic Ascension Advisor. What does that mean? That means that I am here to assist people in connecting to their self-actualized, self-embodied nature of divinity, I guess you could say, or sacred nature. So I'm here really to provide some answers here today for those questions that have come in on demand earlier, and also maybe potentially from the angels themselves. There might be some things they just want to share and give some answers on, even if you didn't ask the question. So we'll see how we do. I want to just say welcome to anybody joining us live. Thank you for being here. I know it's Valentine's Day and you have a lot of places you might want to be celebrating. So thank you. Hi, Lisa. Hello, Rosemary. Hi. And we'll see who shows up. I kind of have been so busy with launching my new Celestials line of products. So unfortunately, my social media engagement and promotional on all of this has been kind of finding its way, balancing it out. I'm going to take a little sip of water. That's one way I get started to connect. I'm also going to take a little bit of oil. So for those of you who have oil, hi Lily, welcome. Get your oils on. If you have them, use them. I'm just going to tap in here for a second. Get centered. All right, just wanted to get the stream kind of primed, as I like to say. So yeah, I want to just mention this too. If you have not found Angelic Academy yet, if you're brand new and finding this brand new on YouTube or Facebook, angelicacademy.com is where you will find everything that I do as a teacher and a transformational leader. What you can also find is a free Diamond Light meditation when you subscribe to the Sovereign Source newsletter, my newsletter that goes out. And what this will do is provide you with a daily practice, just to get started with the angels, a daily practice of aligning your light, getting your light into your body. Okay, so there's a really good, beautiful meditation in there for you as a free gift. And feel free to also follow, on YouTube and Facebook and anything. So you'll definitely get more chances of getting notified of what I'm doing, what's going on with the Academy. And also the other thing I wanted to say is we're allowing and gathering the tribe here, because I know it takes a minute for this to kind of go out and find and gather people, is if you haven't discovered the sanctuary known as the Angelhood. The Angelhood is a beautiful social sanctuary online. It's called kind of like what would you say it? It's not really, it's basically instead of a Facebook, right? Instead of being on Facebook all the time with everything that you're receiving, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, this is really very specific to staying in your light, staying in your high frequency, right? Staying in that vibrational state that makes you happy. So the Angelhood's a really beautiful place to connect with others of light mind and heart and share your talents, share your gifts. We have artists in there. Share anything you find that you find interesting, just like you would on Facebook. But the difference is we really kind of focus it into those things that spiritually feed us, those things that uplift our hearts, bring us joy. And occasionally as well, sometimes there's a need for healing. So we do have something in there called the Halo. And this is where we kind of just have the group center in on a specific need, potentially a healing, holding space for somebody, especially with what's going on with COVID. It's just sometimes people have family or friends that are going through that. So they just say, please hold these people in your heart. And so essentially it's an intentional prayer field from the community. So it's a beautiful place to feel supported. And I just highly recommend going to theangelhood.com if you'd like to join us inside the Angelhood and be part of that. What I say, it goes beyond brotherhood and sisterhood. It's the Angelhood. So thank you for joining. And I look forward to seeing you inside there as well. Okay, so let's get started. Let me just see who is here so far. Oh my goodness, all these beautiful, shiny people. Hi, Kat. Welcome, welcome. Hi, beautiful. I want to say this too. Feel free to share this with your friends. If you're on Facebook watching this, or even if you're on YouTube, however you guys know to share it out, definitely feel free to invite them, because the more the merrier. The more questions we have, the more I'll answer. And it's your opportunity to get some questions answered on demand, like I said. So definitely type them in as we go. All right, type them in the comments, and I should be getting them here. And whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I should be getting all comments coming into my studio. So definitely feel free to type away and start getting those in. Okay, so one thing I want to share, this beautiful rose. I'm just going to kind of, let's see, find the right place. There we go. Oh, it warps me. That's awesome. This is one of these roses that last about a year. A friend of mine, Catherine, gave it to me last night at a beautiful small gathering we had with some friends for Valentine's Day. And so I brought it into the sanctuary because the vibration of rose is one of my favorites to get our alignment to the highest frequency, because it just has a beautiful scent. It's just one of nature's attunement tools. So I highly recommend using, whether it's in an oil or whether it's a fresh rose, or in this case, a preserved rose. It's beautiful to align us to that high vibration. Welcome, Joanna and Ron. Hi, welcome. Happy Love Day. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. Happy Love's Intentional Day. I think somebody said something like that in the Angel. I'm just so grateful to have you here. And I have a rose quartz coming in for us. So we're working with rose quartz for you crystal babies out there. What else? I still have my K2 for those of you who were here in my halo. K2 is really great because it aligns our high spirit with our grounded nature, so it's very practical. So I'm going to be putting this on the other side over here. What else? We got my hearts. I'm hitting my rose. Okay, so we have my blue apatite, blue and red. These are carnelian and blue apatite. These are just what I use to kind of bring the alignment from my higher heart, what I call the higher heart, right, which is the we are collective, to my root, to ground in my light. So whatever I'm doing here today, the beauty of this is, as I'm connecting, I'm also in service to the planet, because what I do as an intentional directive is allow, as that light comes into, please support Earth. Please go into Gaia's heart, right at the center of the planet, and support her as well in her vibration. So we do that. So we're getting a lot done today, just so you know. All right, so let me just bring in some sound. I'm glad you felt bad, Lisa. That's awesome. Just going to bring in some sound and call in the higher collectives. We're going to do full halo. No, okay. We're not going to do a full halo, but we're going to do a partial. And what that means, let me just explain for those of you first listening. Halo stands for harmonic alignment light optimization as a practice. It's something that I do as a halo healing session, or a halo harmonizing session, really, as a separate type, this type of thing, twice a month. But halo also stands for holographic assembly light organization. So that means I'm organizing, right, what my light is creating, right? We are all organizations of holographic light and sound. And so I'm organizing how that assembles around me. And I choose certain frequency formulas, as I call them. You can call them intentions, whatever you want, to go into place so that I know what is in my field. So it's not like everybody and their mother just starts showing up. It's like, this is what I allow for, this is what I set space for, and everybody else can kind of stand outside, if that makes sense, okay? So I'm putting up a halo. Now, what does that mean? For me, that means I'm putting up my specific energy field as a conduit that's very specific as to what I connect to. I connect to all 12 archangelic templates, or streams, light streams, essentially, depending on how you want to look at it. The templates people would call as like a being, like an archangel, right? But really, I look at the stream of what's creating that, right? I want to go even more so to the source of that. So I can do both, all right? So you'll hear me say, oh, I call in Archangel Michael maybe, and I see an Archangel Michael in my mind's eye or something like that, and you guys might notice it too. Or somebody who's energetically sensitive might just see a wave of blue, right, come in, a sapphire light stream, as I call it. So just to kind of give you some context of how I work, it's not in the traditional state of religious connection to angels. It's not in a hierarchical nature. So I don't see angels higher than us. I see them as aspects of us that we can embody. So it's a little bit slightly different. I just like to make that differentiation. So I also connect to the seraphim, the ophanim, the Elohim, and the cherubim. And just me saying that, they're already coming in. So with that, that means that these are very beautiful spectrums of light that are essentially broadcasting, transmitting always the consciousness of source. Okay, now source you can call God, you can call goddess, you can call universal director, prime creator. I don't care what you call it. We all basically know it as life. What is creating life? What is the director and creation of life? And so that source is coming in already, and you might even feel a little tingling just by being in the transmission of it today. You're going to get a little bit of healing potentially as well, so just be receptive to that if you'd like. This isn't just about asking questions and getting answers. This is a live living light transmission that is coming to you to assist you with whatever frequency you're at, and it's my service every month to do this for everybody who would love to sit in this vibration. So I'm so honored, and it is my pleasure and greatest gift to do so. Thank you. All right, so here we go. We're going to bring in the sounds, okay? The sound streams, I like to say, kind of just tune and harmonize the field. So we're going to do this first. And you can just breathe in with me if you like. And settle into the body. And the mind can kind of just go off to one side, like you're putting it up on a shelf. Breathing into your heart. Honoring your heart today, your self-love today, your self-devotion today. And I'm just going to work the spiral a little bit here. And open up the crown, please. And clear it. All channels open, yes, thank you. Okay. So that's my way of getting a little centered. All right, so I want to first off just welcome everybody new. I just need to bring up, before I open the halo, I just want to bring up the questions from the Angelhood. So the beauty of being inside the Angelhood, for those of you who are in there, as you know, you can ask your questions in advance. So in case you forget, or in case you can't make it live, I give an opportunity for people to ask their questions in advance inside the Angelhood. So we're just going to go here and see what questions came in. Luckily, there's not that many, but we're going to probably have more time for people on the live. Okay, so I just want to get this prepped. All right, so here we go. We're just going to open up Halo here. Thank you. I call forth the angelic light stream of all creation, activating the source streams of consciousness to align me to the highest frequencies of living light, ultimate love, and immaculate grace. And I only allow for these frequencies to remain within my presence and our presence. Always, yes, thank you. I activate and recognize the sovereign light councils already assembled here, and recognize the seraphim, the ophanim, the cherubim, and the Elohim. Thank you for being here. I also recognize the diamond light nations. Thank you. I also recognize the Christic gatekeepers. Yes, thank you. We show Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Grandmother Hannah, and Father Joseph, as well as Buddha. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And oh, okay. Thank you, Kuan Yin. She's here as well. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be working with some beautiful Christic councils. And again, these are the crystallized light that has come into the planet, that have been here on this planet and have deep compassion for what we're here to do as humans. So they are here to assist as well in the communication. Thank you. I call forth Archangel Metatron to open up and assemble the halo fully with the titanium platinum light, balancing the masculine and feminine frequencies. Yes, thank you. And activate and call forth Archangel Raziel to bring in the rose gold, the beautiful rose gold of high immunity consciousness. I also recognize and call in Archangel Michael, thank you. Please allow me to know your name for full safety, security. Yes, thank you. And activating the sapphire light to be within this halo to assist us, and all feeling a little bit more secure today. So we recognize that frequency very much so. Thank you. Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you. I call forth Archangel Raphael, and I recognize Raphael stepping in with this beautiful emerald light stream behind, this flowing stream. Yes, thank you for holding that template. And oh yes, thank you. And healing, harmonizing, and bringing forth the beautiful, bountiful, abundant love. There is love here for each and every individual here. So just recognize that and just bring that into your heart. You can see that beautiful emerald light assembling into your heart if you like. Thank you, Raphael. And I honor and with deep appreciation and gratitude, Gabriel as well, Archangel Gabriel, for being here as a conduit of living light. Assembly, yes. Thank you for being that assistive energy of the golden light, coming in with a beautiful alchemical frequency that assists me in maintaining my clarity as a clear channel of this light. So thank you, Gabriel. And I recognize and call in Archangel Uriel for igniting the diamond light of ascension, bringing in the new codes, the highest vibrations of creativity, abundance, vitality, and everything that we require to self-actualize. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Uriel. Thank you. So deeply grateful. Yes. And I recognize the beautiful, bountiful violet light stream beneath us. And this is governed by Archangel Zachiel and Lady Amethyst as violet and ultraviolet, respectively. And so we recognize this beautiful frequency to alchemize and resource back to source anything we want to let go of today. So if there's any heartache, if there's any grief, if there's any sadness, are you missing anybody, or maybe perhaps you are just feeling a little bit on the lonely side, and that's totally normal on this kind of celebration of Valentine's. So we're just going to say, for those of you who might not be in partnership and you're feeling a little bit like, we're just going to say you are always loved, you are always held, and you are allowing yourself to just let that grief go, let any frequencies of those kind, let it go into the violet light, resourcing it back to source, right? Back to God, Goddess. And we're just going to allow that frequency in now underneath your feet. So just see it like a kind of like a foot detox, okay? And you can just run it down into there. So we're setting that up today just as an extra little healing surprise for Valentine's. So thank you, Zachiel. Thank you, Lady Amethyst. All right. So we are anchoring the Archangelic Chamber of Light in now. Seeing that assembly come in fully, and we're ready to go. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving me that time. It's important. It's important that we set that parameter of how we connect, because I would say that oftentimes people just willy-nilly just, oh, I'm just going to throw some cards, or I'm going to connect. And the challenge with that is there's a lot of energy in the field. So you want to be very clear in the direction that you give yourself connection to, okay? You want to be very clear in how you're connecting. You also want to think about how you're giving your power into the system. So again, we never give our power away to the angels. We never give our power away to anybody. We are holding the divine power within ourselves, and we are inviting the frequencies of high intelligence, okay? Also calling forth all the higher selves of you, your higher self, your immortal natures, to be present here to assist you so you can get even more from this experience. And I'm also going to recognize the Mother, Father, principle and creator of our soul as being the only aspect really that we're tuning into. All that we are as creating this halo is essentially an assembly of consciousness, all right? It's the consciousness that we give power to, right, through our conscious thoughts to allow for, right? And that we are essentially always those creators, those directors of our lives. And we're co-creating our experience with that beautiful, beautiful, abundant nature of consciousness of God's source, okay? All right, so let's see. I just want to remind everybody coming in, if you have a question, please feel free to ask. I will be streaming out some answers today on demand anyway, because we had less questions than normal. Usually there's like abundance of questions, but we're just going to go with what we have. And of course, if you're in YouTube and you can get to the comments, if you're in Facebook and you have a place to comment, feel free to ask a question of the angels, okay? All right, so let's get started and see what came in. So Jeanette asks, Can you ask the angels what message they have for humanity to assist them in being able to hold a high vibration of love or neutrality in the present moment when being exposed to negative external events that could lower their frequency? Okay, so so again, this goes back to what I said before, which is how are we setting up our reality? How are you setting up your halo, right? How are you setting up your sovereign space, your frequency bubble? Let's call it that. It's like your domain versus the external. Are you doing it intentionally? Perhaps every morning, just waking up and setting some intentions, some affirmations, some positive vibrations, like priming the pump each morning. They're showing me it's like you really want to not just jump up, get out of bed and rush. It's like really take, even if you have to set your alarm a little earlier, if you have to go to work, take a few extra moments in the morning to tune your instrument, to prime and harmonize your instrument. Because if you're just coming from a place of, oh, I got to rush, then you're automatically running into stress and static. Okay. So thank you, Michael. Mikael, thank you. So Michael is just going to be removing any static in the field right now. Thank you. You reminded me. I'm like, thank you. So static or distortion or decaying energies are things that want to fall away, decaying energy. When decaying energy is in the presence of us, what that means is it's like dying away. It's not been fed, right? So it's going to kind of grasp at things sometimes, right? So this is what people talk about when they talk about energetic hooks or energies kind of stuck in their field, right? And I don't give them any power by calling them the D word, for those of you who like to use that one or anything, because that conjures up an image in the mind of something really dark. It's not necessary. I don't see it that way. I see it as just energetic consciousness assembled as a little dust bunny, if you would. And you're either going to make that a bigger deal or you're not. And sometimes people make these things really big deals. And if you happen across one and it's in your field, you need to have tools for sure to command it out of your field, right? To completely dissolve it if it doesn't remove itself, if it has that kind of consciousness, if it actually has a consciousness, which sometimes they do because people have conjured them, all right? But if it's just your standard, I hate myself, I'm not enough type of like thought conscious, self-deprecating stuff, and you just keep feeding these little dust bunnies, I call them sometimes little monkeys, and then they become like gorillas, right? Then you stop one day, you just like, I'm not going to do that anymore. It doesn't mean that they just suddenly go away. It means that they're still sitting in the field going, oh my God, I'm not getting my bananas. Where's my banana? I want my banana. And they're going to poke you like, give me my banana, lady or gentleman. And so while that's happening, I call these the decaying universal energies. It's like they're pulling on your light. They're pulling on your field. So this is why we use certain tools of energetic expression to kind of bug zap. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, I teach that. Or, collapse and unhook and disentangle those frequencies from being aligned to our system. All right. And again, these could be old addictions that come back and resurface. These could be all sorts of things. Okay. So there's never any judgment about this. A lot of times I've had spiritual teachers, I've been psychically attacked, for lack of a better word, who I'll witness what they do. And I want to answer this. Thank you. So this is what's beautiful. Like one question can spawn a whole lot of answers from the angels. So it's beautiful. I will witness people who claim to be spiritual alchemists, shamans, healers, whatever. It doesn't matter what label they give themselves. They're working with the energies of source. Okay. And what they will do is they will inject themselves into systems of people, perhaps even get permission to do so, but they're going to inject themselves into people's systems, say, oh, you have this many entities or this, and they start to implant consciousness into the system so that they can then be the savior and pull it back out. All right. Whether you had it or not, now you did because they just psychically attacked you, right? So we want to be really careful of people like that. They have a savior complex. They also, especially if they're doing this in groups where it's public. Okay, I've been seeing this going on in public groups sometimes. And I came up against one of these people once. It's really interesting, where they claim like, oh, well, I do this and I do that, and oh, it's for me to do, not for you to do. It's for me to do. Very disempowering. Makes you codependent with them, and that's how they fed literally, financially, and otherwise on people, right? So you got to be really careful right now, because we do have many people in the field coming every day, more and more spiritualists coming into the field. You know, they see an opportunity, some of them, so they're coming from that place. And we have to be very careful about who we align ourselves with. All right. So I'm just saying this as an overall. Just use discernment. Go into your heart and say, does this feel good? It doesn't mean that they don't have perhaps some wisdom to share. It just means they haven't cleared the savior complex. All right. It's a certain template that they want to save the world and they want to help everybody, right, on some level, because it makes them feel better about themselves. So it's really important to just be mindful of the approach that people take, right? Does it go into really dark zones? Does it go into really dark energies in order to go back up to the light, right? And if it sits in the darkness a lot, in these darker, deeper spaces of trauma and drama and things that make people upset, basically, I would highly recommend changing the channel, so to speak. Okay, changing that, changing your consciousness over to another playground. It doesn't mean that shadow work isn't important. Okay, thank you. My guides are just like, let's talk about this. It doesn't mean that shadow work isn't important. It doesn't mean that you don't want to dive into those areas that appear to be hidden from you. Basically, they're never hidden from you. They're just deeper in the subconscious mind, and you're not necessarily as aware of them. But it means there are certain methods. Okay, there are certain methods and modalities that work more effectively and less traumatizing. Like, it's about, sometimes people think you have to go back into the trauma, bring it up, okay, and fully experience it again in order to heal it. And I'm not a proponent for that, I'll be honest with you. I don't believe we have to re-traumatize the system in order to heal it. There are a lot of ways to heal or harmonize your system. I say heal and harmonize together, it's the same thing, okay? If we know everything starts as frequency, everything's being informed as frequency, including the consciousness that you hold in your system, you can work at it from the frequency level and gradually and gently unravel and loosen up the entanglements, and then dissolve the templates that you've created around that one core wound that might have created a whole entire story and narrative, all right, for your life. Okay, hold on. Water break. If you have them, drink them. The reason I say that is because water is a conduit. It's very important to also, when you work with light, if you are a light worker or light surfer, as I like to say, to make sure you're hydrating your body, because it is a radiance. It is a vibration. Like, I bring in radiation. Like, I'm holding this. This is my Vogel. And I'm literally, my hand is a little sweaty because the heat that comes. I basically am sitting here doing this with this because it assists me in maintaining and regulating my light body and tuning in. So getting back to Jeanette's original question is, how do you stay neutral when everything around you can feel very chaotic? Okay, it's truly to remember who you are. To remember that everything around you is a reflection of your inner mechanisms that are projecting out your reality. So if you're getting reflected back to you things that feel really dark and dense and static and uncomfortable, and you don't want to witness that, right? Then you get to look at, where are you still harboring and holding frequencies of vibrational state, perhaps, that are trying to get your attention, saying, hey, you got some trauma going on in here, because you're watching trauma. The people who have less trauma going on in the body are not going to be witnessing so many things that are going to trigger it up, is basically the best way to say it. So personally, I unplug from the media streams. Media, for all intents and purposes, all types of media are designed to create drama. They feed on drama, and they hope you will feed on drama too, okay? Their intention is to hook you with drama. They're only going to bring you the bad news. They're only going to bring you the type of energies that are going to make you go into these sad states as a rule. That's how they get their ratings. Okay, as somebody who worked in entertainment a long time, trust me on this one. This is a system that is designed to harness your consciousness, which is the greatest currency they can access. Okay, the greatest currency on the planet, I say this all the time, is your consciousness, more so than gold or anything else. Okay, greatest currency is consciousness itself. So the more that they can harness your consciousness, they can control all the other levels of currency that you have, like whether it's money, your time, it doesn't matter. And when I say they, I just mean the overall societal system. I'm not sitting here saying there's like an evil thing out to get you. I don't really want to play that game because we can. But once again, then we're doing an us and them and a battle warfare. And the true battle is within yourself. I just sent out a beautiful invitation to sit with Theo. Theo did a beautiful vision for 2021 and talked about 2021. Theo is an archangelic collective channeled by Sheila Gillette. Sheila was the mentor to Esther Hicks. For those of you who know Abraham and The Secret, the movie The Secret, Sheila is a friend of mine and was one of my mentors briefly. And so what I've learned from Theo, I should say Theo is my mentor, but what I've learned from Theo most recently, which was a beautiful way to say it, is we are our own inner terrorist. We terrorize ourselves. We're really good at it. So it's about disassembling our inner terror if you don't want to see what's terrifying out in the world. So I hope that answers the question, Jeanette. You know, holding our light, knowing the truth of who we are, knowing that we are more powerful than just the physical body that we find ourselves aligned to. We are demonstrating all the time, whether it's through the dream time, whether it's through how we love each other, right? Hugging each other when we can, if possible, right? We are demonstrating love more often than not. So it's only in those areas that we're still holding on for dear life to those moments that are no longer here, but they happen in our past perhaps, or maybe they happen even in a parallel reality through an ancestor. Maybe your ancestor was tortured and you're still holding the torture for them in your bloodstream. Okay, so you can release that. There are methods to get that out. All right. And Angelic Academy, again, for those of you who haven't heard about it, I do teach certain methods of that, specifically around something I call the angelic dream keys. And the keys are here to unlock the DNA for self-actualization. You are here to activate and unlock and release and open up your own DNA, by the way. For those who are out there who are saying, I do DNA activations, right? And I think I've even used this really in my own vernacular. I probably should check the website and make sure it's not still on there somewhere. But what I've learned is us as practitioners are not activating your DNA. We're not, okay? You are activating it. You are the one actually doing anything to your own system. We are simply here as a reflection to say, hey, you might want to do that. Let's talk about it, right? And let's get it up to the surface so you can get the work done, right? So the keys that I teach are very much about that. They're very much about self-actualizing through the activation of your own DNA and opening up all the multidimensional levels of that. So just to be clear, for those of you who are concerned right now that there's anything messing with your DNA, GMOs, vaccines, it doesn't matter what it is. When you work with these keys, as frequency, everything's frequency, including the vaccines out there in the world, right? Including anything else that might be coming in that you might be like, I don't know, do I yes or no? You know, uncertainty, anything that creates uncertainty. When you work with the keys, the beautiful thing about that is if their source consciousness tones of that frequency of source that covers pretty much every element of the human experience, you just have to work with them. And just recalibrate and reharmonize. And anything trying to disassemble, reassemble, do anything to your DNA, you're just, I'm so sorry, antivirus, malware, out the door, right? It's that type of thing. So that's what I've learned about working with these. They're very powerful for that. And why I go to them over and over again. You know, sometimes you'll find there's an evolution where someone will introduce something and then they move on to something else. And then there's the next thing and the next thing. And they're always launching new things at you. You're going to learn with me that I don't do that. I pretty much am like, this is the only thing that I found that truly works. This is the only thing you really truly need to do. This is what connects me direct to source. And if it connected me direct to source, it can connect you direct to source. It's just a matter of time. and practice and going to your angel gym, right? Working with the keys. So I know a lot of you have them. I highly recommend looking into them if you don't, because these are tools that you will start to reharmonize, realign, and get your system fully secure. I call it your soul confidence, getting your soul confidence up. And so this is a really important way also, Jeanette, of just making sure that you can hold neutrality no matter what. All right, just keep working your keys. That's it. It's not, I know it's not sexy always. Well, I know that. What else? But truthfully, it's sometimes those things that are so simple that we just kind of toss aside. Well, it's not complicating enough. You know, the brain wants something really sexy and exciting. It's not always that necessary, I guess is the best way to say it. Okay, Kat, I think you're here right now. Kat, she says, I'm curious about my sweet Mojo who crosses October 15th and 20th, and he comes to see me all the time. So I guess he crossed. I'm guessing he crossed over. Can you tell me where is Mojo's soul? Is it only on the other side? Is it possible that it can also simultaneously be reincarnated in the bunny I just got? Echo. Oh, that's so sweet. So let me just check in. Hold on a second. Okay, so Mojo's not with Echo yet, so they're not the same. Echo's a different being, just so you know. Mojo's doing some work. Mojo is, again, a part of a soul collective, so it's not just Mojo. Shanti, hold on a second. Speaking of animals, I have one of my little dogs in the room. Her name's Shanti. Shanti, hey, what are you doing? Come here. She gets excited when this energy is in the room, and she's just about to start chasing her tail, and you're going to hear her, and she's going to start biting her leg. What are you doing? Do you want to come and sit, or do you want to go out? Maybe you should go out. Oh, hi, Bee. We have 2 dogs in the room. I call them the little dragon dogs. Are we done? Okay, hopefully she's done. We'll see how we do. See, your question, dogs appear. Okay. So, okay, so with Mojo, let's go back to Mojo. Thank you. Shanti, I'm just escorting her energy out of the room for a minute. All right. I love the fur babies. Hold on. Yeah, so Mojo's still over in the what you might call the 5th dimension or heaven or whatever label you want to give it. But basically, fundamentally, there's still a process of integration, soul integration that happens once the soul crosses, and it's been too soon for it to come back in. So Mojo's still there and doing some work, actually working with you, visiting you as part of that work to keep you kind of connected into the spirit realm. And you see, hold on. There's a lot of teaching, actually. Mojo has it's funny that you named it Mojo, because Mojo has this energy of teaching and having this like Mojo kind of attitude about it, in the sense of like high soul confidence, actually, if I were to say that. Beautiful being. I'm getting some energy around the crown here. Hold on. Feeling into this frequency consciousness now, because again, they're no longer in their physical body. Now they're consciousness. So you can tune into Mojo. You can actually say, Mojo, please allow me to know your name, and ask Mojo to come into your field. Okay. And that consciousness will start to inspire things. And there is an energy of love for you that it is here to support you with. It also supports others. It works with children. They're showing me it's working with children. Comfort, a lot of comforting. Give me a sec. And the connection to Echo is sent you Echo. Okay, it's telling me it sent you Echo. Okay, so Echo was brought in as a physical, new companion, right? To replace, not really replace, but to, create that fuzzy, comforting level in your reality. But Mojo is actually it inspired that connection, but it is not in the physical suit of the bunny. Okay, just so you know. But it could potentially come in again for you, but just not yet. So it might take a bit. So just know that. Okay. I hope that answers your question sufficiently. All right. Okay, so let's just see what's going on here. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much. Yes, they are powerful, aren't they? How can I clear the energy that keeps me so tired is Joanna's question. Let me just double check. And then Lisa had a question. Okay, so I'm going to just go back to the top. Lisa's question is, I was wondering what my mother's role is now. She transitioned 2011. Today is her birthday. Oh, beautiful. My cousin's birthday is today, too. Okay, so let's find out. Lisa, can you just give me her first name? I just need her first name so I can make sure I'm getting the right person. And then Joanna, I'll get to your question. I don't know if Lisa's still here. We're going to hopefully she is. I just need the first name of your mom, Lisa. It might take a minute maybe to stream into my system, my studio. I don't know why it's so dark today. My light normally is so much better. I feel a little bit like in the shadows here, and I have all my normal lights on, but I guess because of this backlight, maybe it's kind of messing with the camera. So I apologize if I'm not so high vibration, light vibration. All right, so Lisa, all right, so Jan, okay, Jeanette or Jan, okay. Yeah, there was a little bit of a delay there. Okay, hi Barbie, hi. Okay. So again, if you guys are just joining and you want to ask any questions on demand, happy Valentine's Day again, everybody. Feel free to start typing them in now, all right? So Lisa's asking, what is her role now? Okay, and she transitioned 2011. Okay, let's ask Jan. It's interesting. She showed me walking on a beach. So she's almost like in this, she's kind of chilling. She's kind of just like relaxing. I don't know if that was something she normally had a chance to do when she was alive. It's almost like she's on this vacation. She's really kind of allowing herself to have this vacation. She does do some work. I mean, she does do soul work, I guess you could say, and she does connect to you and she connects to other family members, but she's kind of, I don't want to say she's like retired. It's just right now she's definitely in this kind of state of like, I just want to chill for a while. I'm good, you know, and she's really enjoying this process of just allowing herself this time to, and again, time is relative because once you're in spirit, there's no time, but you know, it's like she's in this state of just walking the beach, enjoying her life, like meaning her afterlife. She has a lot of consciousness that she does project, though, she says. So sometimes imagine this and just go with, yeah, self-care, exactly. She's like in this healing, healing, self-care, relaxation. But she does send like inspiration. So I don't know if she tended to be a little bit of a control freak or had that kind of like that motherly energy of like, Lisa, you should do that, you know, that kind of energy a little bit. But it's almost like she'll inspire things for you. She'll kind of inject some consciousness, inspiration, we call it. You know, when you breathe in, you inspire, right? She'll be like, let's just trickle some of that in there, you know, because she'll want to guide you and give you advice still, you know, so there's that. But a lot of healing, yeah, a lot of self-care for sure. And I just see her walking the beach. That's it. It's all she's showing me. It's just like, I'm good. I'm so good. She's just saying, I'm so good. Just let her know I'm so good. And she loves you so much. So happy Valentine's Day. And she's sending just a beautiful stream of light right now. So let me just tune into your heart and give you a big angel hug here. From her heart to yours. And hopefully you can feel that. Love you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Yes, you can go back to your regular life. Regularly scheduled programming, we like to call it here. All right, Joanna says, how can I clear the energy that keeps me so tired? Okay, so let's see. So Joanna, I'm guessing you're feeling an energetic kind of like wet blanket. They're showing me kind of like this like wet blanket energy, kind of draining. All right, so first and foremost, Joanna, one of the things to do is, like I said earlier in the mornings, set up your halo, set up something that is going to say, this is my domain and that's everything else. Because when we're energetically sensitive, we can kind of cross-pollinate with people we come across and pick up sometimes their energy signature, and it just doesn't feel good, all right? And if you're around people who tend to be depressed or anxious, fear-based, lower currency, let's call it, it'll feel draining, right? So for you, it's very important to set up your halo, set up that shield, the field shield, as I like to sometimes affectionately call it, and make sure that you're also doing an energetic downpour every day to recharge the body with diamond light. Again, I think you probably got the meditation from angelicacademy.com, so feel free to use that. The other thing is to check into your adrenals. If you've been under kind of stress for a long term, it can even be just a low grade stress that just goes on and on and on and on for a long period of time. It will eventually burn out the adrenals. Okay, and people will get adrenal fatigue. So the body sometimes needs a tune-up. So it's not always about the energies out here, but the physical body. So check into your adrenals. There's some supplements. I think there's one called Adrenal Reset and some others. But adrenal fatigue is very real. They're very tiny organs that are expected to do a whole lot energetically. So we definitely want to do things that support them. All right. You can look into specific foods that support the adrenals. Look into some supplementation. I would also very much consider doing a liquid vitamin C. I do a 3,000 milligram every day. I did a shot of it this morning before I got on here. And that will also give you some extra energy and make sure your immune system's fully supported as well, obviously. But it's a lipospheric. It's called Aurora, I believe is the brand. Anyway, you can hit me up in the Angelhood directly for that. So clearing the energy, again, there's another way I do it, which is you just rub your hands together, okay? Everybody can do this right now. Rub your hands together and acknowledge that you have this energy by then taking them apart, feeling the energy in your hands. So everybody should be able to feel a little tingly in their hands, right? Okay? Then you can do this to reset. Okay, I learned this from Dr. Kay Adept. She's in the Angelhood. This resets the nervous system. Okay, this totally resets your nervous system. So just do this. Kind of press your fingertips together. Okay. Okay. Now, then what I would do is run what I call the violet light. Okay, run a little bit of the violet light. You don't have to do this for a long time, but you just visualize violet light coming in from like your upper star down into the crown, all the way down your center axis along each and every arc, which is your energy centers. I call them arcs, going all the way down into the earth. And then you just pulse it out. Just visualize it to the count of 12. Let's say, pulse 1, pulse 2, pulse 3. And you don't have to do this with your hands. I'm just doing this as a visual. But you just want to visualize that you're pulsing this violet light through your entire halo, your entire field. All right. And that's just going to clear out any extra static and distortion that's like a little bug zapper, I call it. Okay, I talked about this a little earlier. So that will assist you in just clearing out anything you might have picked up even in dream time. If you do it first thing in the morning, mid-afternoon, you can kind of take a break and kind of visualize and just go into meditation, close your eyes and just visualize that, okay? And just do it 12 times. You don't have to do it more than that. But that would be a really good way to just kind of clear your field, clear your halo. All right. If you don't have time for a full downpour meditation, which is the diamond light meditation I include on my website. So that would be a quick fix, I guess you could say. But look into the tiredness more from a physical standpoint. If you're constantly tired, you just want to make sure you haven't been under such stress that you've taxed the adrenals. So check into your adrenals are really important. All right. So that's what I'm getting. I hope that helps you. I know it helps you. What am I saying, hope? I know. Okay. I think we're good. I think we got everybody's questions. I'm just going to double check. So glad you guys were able to make it here because I know Valentine's. So one thing I wanted to do, one last thing. Lisa, this is for you, girl. Okay? Oh my goodness, you're going to be so excited. So everybody, you should know by now, I have a new line called Celestials. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this up. Oh my goodness, how do I find it? The camera. Okay, so this is the Celestials new Seraphim Shield box. And I'm going to do an open box so everybody knows what's inside it, because somebody said, I loved when you opened the box. I'm like, okay, I'll just open the box. This is a brand new kit. It comes like this. And again, it's going to be packed differently. It's hard to hold it and have you guys see everything, but I'm going to bring it out. So if you need shielding, clearing, cleansing, energy, we're talking about this would be the kit. Right, so you're going to have a smudge feather, not going to be in plastic. You're going to take it out of the plastic, right? You're going to have a little hammer copper, it's a little luxury hammer copper tea light candle, okay? Tea light goes in there. You're going to get a few extra soy wax candles, okay? You're going to get a rose gold plasma arc charger. This is a USB lighter, I should say. USB charged lighter. So it doesn't have a flame. You light your candle, okay? Then you have this beautiful opalescent abalone, okay? There's going to be pink Himalayan sea salt. I didn't have time to put this in the box, but there's going to be a little pink Himalayan sea salt to put in here, all right? You're going to have a selenite, little selenite, one of these guys. I don't know how many of you love selenite. This I am personally charging with the Diamond Light Stream. So this is a Diamond Light charged selenite for you to hold in your hand as you're working with your feather. Okay, you hold this and you're going to sweep like this. Okay, I'm doing the little demonstration. All right, you're going to get some Palo Santo. You're going to get eucalyptus. All right, honoring the Aboriginals. All right, and this is my favorite. This is why it's called Seraphim Shield. We're connecting to the dragon tribes, which are very highly protective. Dragon's blood. This is a very special resin out of Peru. Coated white sage. So there's white sage in here, so you get the double whammy of white sage and dragon's blood on this, okay? And a USB little charger thing, and that's it. So that is your kit. So this is how you do it. You basically are going to, I'm not going to take them out of the bags because I want to just, protect the sanctity of this. But you're going to light this over your candle, right? Little flame, just enough to get it, you don't need to do too much, but just enough to get this going. And then you blow it out and it'll start smoking, right? And then you're going to rest it in your shell, over your shell, just so you don't drip all this stuff off. And you're going to just smudge, and you're smudging up into corners. And I'm going to include specific intentional work, prayer, you want to call it, that comes with that too, that I use for smudging specifically with the Seraphim. So this whole kit you can get now on Shop Celestials. There's no photos of it up yet. That's how new this is, guys. This is like hot off the Celestials presses. It's $77, just so you know. And so everything in there, you're essentially going to get the directions. You're going to get all the stuff, and then I will have replacement little smudges to go, with this if you need them down the road. Different smudge bundles, but just know that I created this specifically to have a little container and a kit for each person as a cleansing kit, so you have a place, so you can add your own stuff if you have other types of smudges and stuff. But the box will be big enough to hold everything you need, and you bring that out, at least a couple times a week, if not more. I mean, it depends on where you live. Sometimes we pick up a lot of stuff if you're in the city and you need to really cleanse your space. This is really good. Now you can smudge yourself, all right? When you're smudging yourself, you do a little bit under your feet, smudge your hands, like so. I'll smudge the smoke around my hands, especially with Palo Santo. It's really easy to do that. I want to explain a little bit. Palo Santo, the wood, right? I showed you the piece of wood. Is a beautiful smoke. Smoke, again, is multidimensional. Okay, it goes through dimensions. So the thing about Palo Santo is when you burn Palo Santo, it's not just clearing, it's also blessing in the same smoke, right? So what I like to do is I'll take one of the bigger bundles, like the eucalyptus or the sage. And eucalyptus is great, especially if you're feeling like the sinuses are clogged and you want to just open up more the breathing, and like the actual respiration. So right now, especially with COVID and everything, just cleansing the house and getting the respiratory of the house open, eucalyptus is amazing. That's why the angels had me select that specifically. But what I would say is Palo Santo, what I like to do is I'll do a smudge first with just one of the bundles, let's say, depending on what I need. I smudge the space, my room, my house, what have you. And then what I'll do is I'll take some Palo Santo and go in each room and also do a little bit of Palo Santo to kind of bless the space. And the statement I might do with that is, may all that I gaze upon be blessed. And I move that through and I smudge it through. So again, you guys, I know some of you do your own smudge work, and however you want to do it, this is all what I call self-devotion ceremony. Okay, you are loving yourself enough to do these practices. So it's not about anything other than just to honor your own sacred lineage. I want to say this too, because there's sometimes controversy over working with these types of ceremonial tools, you know, because they are based in indigenous practice. I myself am part Cherokee, so I feel that in my lineage, there is a right to do this, I suppose, and compile this kit for you. But what I'm going to say is this: even if you didn't have bloodline, okay, and we can sometimes see that it might, you know, some people are like, well, we shouldn't be doing that. You know, this is what I'm going to say. Every single one of us is indigenous to this planet on some level. Your blood is here. Your bloodlines are here. All right. You might not be in an indigenous format right now. You might not be a Native American right now or an Aborigine right now. Yes, have honor for them. Have reverence for them. I would highly recommend, you know, giving philanthropically to these tribes who have held sacred ceremony and work on this planet regularly. The Koji tribe out of Colombia, they work in one of the darkest zones in the world. They are one of the highest indigenous mastery tribes in the world. And I would highly recommend donating to them and helping them, finding the organizations that help them. I will actually maybe post some in the Angel Hood. I'll find out what those are. I'll find out and put them in. But you can really give to any of these philanthropic areas, you know, meaning any of the tribes or any of, you know, whether it's Australia, if you're in Australia, to the indigenous there. It's very important to honor them in a way that's going to support them right now in feeding themselves and loving themselves more, helping them leave a legacy of light. Okay, there's a lot of sadness and grief for what has been done, and there's no amount of money that's ever going to make up for that, right? There's only so much we can do in our own personal ways that way. But what I will say is, when you are smudging, you honor the indigenous. You honor the indigenous within yourself. You honor the indigenous within them and their culture and their tribes. And you just visualize yourself aligning to them and saying, thank you. Thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you for this tool. Thank you for bringing in this practice. Thank you for sharing this practice. Okay, we do the best we can. Now, everything that I purchase supports a beautiful lodge here that is Native American. So I purchase what I can, meaning the smudges and stuff, from them. So that is my way of making sure it's an integrity. So that's how you know when you're purchasing this one, that it's aligned to that. But I'm just saying, even if you didn't, even if you said, well, I found it cheaper somewhere else, just be aware that what we're doing, you know, is their practice. So we want to honor them in whatever way we can. So it's just something to consider. And so thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know that. All right. Oh, Lisa, thank you. All right. I think we're complete unless anybody had any questions. I'm just going to double check. Let's see. Let's see. I think we're good. And it was a quiet one today, of course, because it's Valentine's Day. I know you guys are going to be busy. But if you're watching on demand, feel free to take part in Q&Angels next month, because we will definitely be doing this again, right? And please also know you can still get your free Diamond Light Meditation at angelicacademy.com if you need that, if that's something that you would like to get. They are available. You just go into the front page of Angelic Academy, right there. You'll look for a little iWatch, and right next to it is a little place to enter your email, and it'll get sent to you. And you'll also be subscribed to the Sovereign Source newsletter, which you can always unsubscribe to at any time. But what that newsletter will do is provide you with notifications normally of any of these types of events that I do, any type of healing sessions, group sessions, things like that, any specials. So just definitely know that. And I also want to say that if you are on social media, you can find me as the Hug Angel. All right, so I'm the Hug Angel, and Angelic Academy on social media as well. It's either going to be Angelic Academy or the Angelic Academy, depending on the platform. I believe Instagram is the Angelic Academy, but either way, I'm sure you'll find us. And that way you can stay in tune and alignment with anything going on there. I want to be honest, I spend a lot more time inside the Angelhood as far as social media engagement, only because it's where I feel most comfortable vibrationally. But I will put occasionally something out on the Facebook, and definitely announcements and stuff go there. So it doesn't hurt to follow that. Okay. All right. I love you guys. If you have any questions, again, join theangelhood.com. Come in, ask me directly. There's a chat room in there, a chat area that you can chat me directly if anything comes to mind, or if anything that I shared today brought up new questions. Definitely feel free to chat me there, and I will possibly answer them on the next Q&Angels as well. So I love you. I want to just say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to this life. Thank you for bringing your joy and your love and your excitement. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way. So I'm just going to say that potentiality always exists within you. It's just up to you to decide to let it flow in, let it flow in, let it flow in. All right. So from my heart to yours, giving a big hug, big Valentine's Day hug, Galentine's as well. Love you all. Until next time, I'm Stephanie Lodge, your Angelic Ascension Advisor. I'm so excited to have you here. And once again, thank you for being here, and we will see you soon.